So, welcome back. It is Monday morning. It's the 13th of April today of me recording this. And if you haven't guessed by the title of the video, this is going to be me taking us through again a couple of days in the life, but mainly focusing on the nutrition side of stuff and how I've dropped so much weight and the foods that I actually eat and how I'm prepping them and making them taste good and making them easier to make and things like that. I'm going to put some of the recipes over on top of the screen here to show you some of the foods that I've been eating very recently. Now, not all of the foods are going to look as good as that, but some of the things that I've been putting on my Instagram recently, if you don't follow me, go and follow me. My link's going to be in the description below. But I've been having like Big Mac burger bowls. We've been doing sweet potato brownies, the Ninja Creamies with the sweet potato brownie inside of it. Sometimes Ninja Creamy with the jelly in. I've had like chicken Cajun pasta, garlic beef and potatoes with parmesan and truffle, like stuff like that. That's low calorie, tastes fucking amazing, is very filling. It's literally just about getting the textures and the seasonings and stuff right. So I'll be taking you through exactly how I make that sort of food without having to take fucking ages to do it as well. And it's going to taste great, the texture's going to be great. Now, it's super basic food, but realistically, for the most part, if you're in a fat loss phase like what I'm in, you're going to be better off just having a lot more simple foods and not spending all of your time in the kitchen, especially if you have work and especially if you don't want to be meal prepping for fucking ages on a Monday, on a Sunday, and taking like 2 or 3 hours to prep all these foods. So, as I said, I'll be taking you through how to actually make those foods. I've dropped 33 pounds in 14 weeks doing that. You can probably tell by how skinny my neck's gone. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be taking you through today. Right, so I'm hoping that face tracking's going to work. This video has just taken a bit of a turn. It's still going to be nutrition focused, but I've now got a last minute appointment with the physio that's in the gym. So I've messaged him because my coach just told me to go and see a physio about my back because it's been about 10 or 11 days and it's not doing very well. So I've messaged the physio very quickly and he's just said I'll fly into the gym now and come and do the session with you. So I'm going to have to go and quickly fly over to the Metro Centre. Now this does mean, yes, that I'm not going to be able to meal prep today. But, I mean, I'll meal prep tomorrow and I'll just show you it then because I'll make this a 2-day video now. But this is a really good opportunity to show how we can be solution focused and also how you can stick to your nutrition even when you're on the go and when things haven't gone the way that you wanted them to. This is a really good way of showing you this. So, obviously, I didn't have time to meal prep my potatoes. Luckily, because I was prepared, as I always say that you should be, I have this. So it's just a chicken meal with some vegetables in. Obviously, we'll now have to defrost. But what I'm going to do with that, because I haven't got any carb sources and I don't want to have rice because it's not very filling, I'm going to go to M&S that's in the Metro Centre. I'm going to use that as an excuse to get like an extra, I think that takes me to like, it's like 3,500 steps to go all the way around the Metro Centre. If the sun's still out, which as you can see right now it currently is, I'll also use that as an excuse to go outside of the Metro Centre and go and get some sunlight, which will be a really good opportunity to give myself a little bit of a break from work and calls. And then what else do I know that I have that I can make really quickly? So there's 80 grams of oats in this bowl. And then I've got some protein and frozen strawberries just there. These will thaw out over the next like hour or so. Probably have these for my first meal. And then I've also got a bit of dark chocolate, because it's got some micronutrients in it and also tastes fucking great as well. So oats, dark chocolate, strawberries and protein. And then I've got some chicken, which I will then buy some sweet potatoes. Nearly sneezed there. Buy some sweet potatoes and then I will make those in the microwave when I get to work. And then yeah, that's it. As I said, just being solution focused rather than losing my head. A lot of people at this point would be like, oh, but fucking I had to go and do so and so and I had to go and do X, Y and Z, and that's why I didn't stick to my plan today because I was super fucking stressed and all this sort of stuff. This guy's just nearly driven into the back of my fucking car. There you go. Is he gonna let me out? Yes he is. Yes he is. There we go. Yeah, so this, what I was saying there, sorry. This guy just basically had to drive into my space there. But yeah, as I said, you've just got to be solution focused. Don't lose your fucking head. Just literally sit and think like, right, what can I have that I'm going to be able to make very quickly? And this is just the proof of being prepared with meal prep, which has obviously just saved my arse there, because now I've actually got a meal that's proper whole foods. So just chicken, vegetables and sweet potatoes is what I'm now going to have. Obviously seasoned well. Plenty of garlic aromat. By the way, if you don't use aromat, get on that now. It's fucking incredible. It just makes everything taste so much better. It's like an all-purpose seasoning, but I've been using the regular one and the garlic one together. Unreal. It's like £2 for a little seasoning bottle, and they last ages and they taste fucking unreal as well. So buy yourself some aromat if you don't know how to season your food properly. And as I was saying anyway, I went on a complete fucking digression there, but as I said, you want to make sure that you're prepped with meals in the fridge or the freezer or whatever it might be, because now I've got that. Yes, I'm going to get some sweet potato, but obviously you can prep rice, you can prep potatoes with it, whatever. And also having meals that you know that you can make like that, as long as you have access to hot water or a microwave or whatever it might be, is really, really important. Because if you're going to work and you haven't meal prepped, or for whatever reason you couldn't meal prep the day before, which most of the time isn't the case, but you'll be like, you know, if you haven't been able to bring a meal for whatever reason, right, okay, cool, I've got some oats in there, I've got some protein in there as well. My fucking things just fell off the fucking screen as I'm talking to you. And yeah, that's why it's so important to have those things prepped. I'm gonna have to turn this video off because it's not safe. So, and the fucking suction things just fell off the fucking screen. Right, that should be, should be tracking my face, and that should be in the middle of the screen. There we go. So, as I said, it's really important to make sure that we have some sort of meals that we can just go straight to. So I've obviously had my oats there, and I know for a fact that I can just put those in a fucking box and then I can just have them later on. That literally took me about 30 seconds to prep. So yes, it might not taste the best, or it might not be the most exciting meal in the entire world, but if you've got nutrition goals that you need to stick to, like I do right now, I'm only 4.5 weeks out from my shoot, like, it's not really an option for me to just go out right now and get a meal deal. And that's not because my coach said that I can't, it's just because I don't see that as a fucking option right now. A meal deal, or a chippy, or a fucking Monster and a vape, or whatever it is that most people get, like I used to get when I worked an office job, I have not made an option for myself to eat right now, and it's as simple as that. So yes, one of my meals is going to have to be oats today. Boo-hoo, it's a fucking first world problem, get over it and just have some boring meals to prep every now and then. And it's also going to taste nice. It's fucking oats with salted caramel biscuit protein powder and dark chocolate and some strawberries, man. It's going to be a good meal. It's going to be a good meal. So yeah, I will update you on what the physio has said after this, and I will see you in the next clip. Right, so I'm just going to quickly take you through the update of my back. So I've obviously been in with Alex, the physio, in the gym this morning. I've got a bulging disc in my lower back, which means that training is going to have to be adjusted probably for the next like 4 to 6 weeks, more than likely. So for the rest of prep, there is no squatting. There's not really good, it's literally just going to be lying leg curls, leg extensions, only in certain parts of the range of motion. For those movements, I've got adductors that I can train and abductors that I can train, and then some seated calves. I can't even do standing calves. So leg day is going to be boring as fuck. But I'm not exactly like raging about the fact that I don't have to get under a fucking heavy barbell towards the end of prep, or a heavy hack squat. I mean, I do actually enjoy those things, but they do take a lot on the recovery. Body weight is in a really good place. So I was down to 164 from 197 this morning. So that's where I've come down from. Ali's not making any changes to food or cardio or steps or anything like that, because we can't really ask any more of what's kind of happened. You know, the weight loss, I can't really be losing any more than 2.5 pounds a week like I have been doing. If I lose any more than that, I'm just going to start to lose muscle, and I'm going to look like absolute dog shit for my photo shoots. So everything is as it needs to be right now. As I mentioned, I swear down, I brought my fucking kiwis in with us somewhere. I mustn't have brought them in. I bought some kiwis as well, along with the sweet potatoes. So my meal for the afternoon is going to be chicken. This is defrosted a little bit. You can see, defrosted just a little bit. And then I'm going to have my baked sweet potato, or like microwave sweet potato. And then I'll have some kiwis with that as well. Just like some chopped up kiwi. It's like the equivalent of 2 kiwis, I believe. So that is going to be an extremely nutrient dense meal. I was meant to be teaching a spin class tonight, but I'm not going to be able to do that for the next 4 to 6 weeks because of my back. Oh no, how terrible. So the new fitness head coach in here, fucking legend, has decided to cover the class, literally last minute. He's only been working here for about 2 hours and he's already committed to doing the class. So fair play to him. Yeah, takes balls. So I've just been showing him the ropes of how to do it. And yeah, it looks like I'll probably not be on shift until like 6:30 instead of 5:30 because I'm not going to have to do the class anymore. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I will see you in the next clip because, as I said, I've got this. I'm at Bry's tonight, so I might show you the food that we'll have, depending on what we'll have. If not, I'll probably take a little video tomorrow, I guess, and then we'll show you the day in the life of tomorrow because I'll actually be training. I'll be recording a lot of content. I've got a client on the evening, and it's going to be a little bit more of an entertaining day. Obviously, today would have been a little bit funner because I could have taken you through the meal prep and all that sort of shit, but can't do that now, so it is what it is. Right, so it is now Tuesday. It's a content day, basically. So I've been sat down for around 3 or 4 hours, get my content done for the next like 10 days or so because I'm trying to get myself ahead, and then I'll do another mini content day on Friday, which will just basically help me to get myself past that like 2-week mark, so I'm always just that little bit ahead. So meal number 1 is going down today, so it's around 10 to 12. I'm going to be training in about 2 hours, so I've got 2 whole eggs, 100 grams of egg whites, I've got 2 chicken sausages in there, so mushrooms, and then 2 slices of toast at the back. Not even sourdough. I'm not going to die from that, so I didn't have any sourdough in the house. And then, of course, a cold Pepsi. And then before I actually go to the gym, around half an hour before, I'll have a banana and a Squares bar. So this has got plenty of protein. I believe it's around 45 to 50 grams of protein, maybe a little bit more. That's going to keep me nice and full until around 4 o'clock when I'll have my next meal. It's going to be chicken and potatoes today. Now, what I've been doing is seasoning everything with salt, obviously, so I stay hydrated throughout the day. And then I've also got some garlic aromat on there just for the flavour. If you don't use garlic aromat, get to know it. Trust me, it is fucking game-changing. You put it on anything, and it makes it taste significantly better. So, yeah, that's meal number 1. Going to go down. I'll show you meal number 2. And then meal number 3 later on in the day will be, when I get to Bry's later on, that will be beef and either regular, like white potato and sweet potato. And then I'll finish off the day probably with either a yogurt bowl or some oats, depending on what calories I have left. And then yeah, we'll see there. But I'll see you in the next one. Right, so I'm just in the middle of eating my food, but I very quickly wanted to touch on something I'm finding very interesting at the minute. So I'm watching Modern Wisdom, which is my favourite podcast, has been for quite a while. I've seen Chris Williamson live. I'm a very, very big fan of the podcast. This one here is talking about everything artificial intelligence, and also like genome and DNA manipulation, so potentially being able to live forever. This is a completely fucking off topic, by the way, the video, but this is something I'm very interested in. So they're talking about the fact that you might actually be able to, in the next 20 years, essentially take some form of medication, whether it's through injection, whether you eat it, whether you drink it, whatever it might be, where you can literally live for as long as you want to. So you could live forever if you wanted to. You could live to 200 years, 300 years, literally just whenever you wanted to, which I think is so fucking interesting. And also AI, the fact that everybody's absolutely terrified of AI, but we're all worried about our jobs getting taken off of us. But every single generation has had this thing, like, you know, the invention of the car, the automobile. So then none of the horse companies and horse and carriage companies existed anymore. None of those jobs existed anymore. But then the amount of jobs that have then come from the motor industry has been crazy. You've got roads, you've got factories, you've got engineers, you've got everything. So it's looking at the opportunities that AI might give us and being able to use it in the right way and actually use it to better our lives instead of being scared of it. So I'm like an hour and 34 into this podcast. I've got another 45 minutes left or so. This is completely off topic, but super fucking interesting. I love watching stuff like this. So there's a little unknown fact about me. And here is how easy it is to stay on track with your food. This all took me half an hour to make. Yes, these 4 don't have any potatoes in yet, but when I do use potatoes in these, I'll just put some whole baby potatoes, some salt and garlic and pepper in the air fryer, and they take 20 minutes, and I'll literally just leave them, and then they're done. So we've got 150 grams of chicken, 150 grams of beef, we've got 100 grams of mixed veg, and obviously potatoes on this side as well. Now, they are all seasoned with garlic aromat, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and some onion powder as well. And it literally took half an hour to make. Now look, Are they the most appetizing? No, but realistically, if I'm on the go and it's 2 meals of my day and I'm busy as fuck, which I am at the minute with business, well then this is just the way that it's going to be, and I can have 2 like funner meals. So obviously I've just had my eggs, chicken sausages and toast, and then tonight I'll probably go home and have, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to have tonight, but we'll have something a little bit like funner tonight, and then I'll have a Ninja Creamy to finish off the day, and that's it. Like, super simple. I might end up having like I've just had a Pepsi there, so my throat's going a little bit. But we could have, you know, a Big Mac burger bowl tonight. It could be chicken and Cajun pasta, whatever it might be. This took half an hour to do. You can do this on a Sunday, and if you really want to, you can just put all of your potatoes in the oven and have, you know, 8 meals worth of potatoes as well. So it can be done. It was super fucking simple to do. It's very nutritious. I've got a lot of micronutrients in there, a lot of protein, a lot of fiber, and it's incredibly filling. Literally as simple as that. Can you make it taste a little bit nicer? Can you use different sauces? Could you put rice in there or pasta in there? Could you change the meats up to like turkey, salmon, whatever it is? Yes, it all takes pretty much the exact same amount of time. So when you know how to do this, it is so fucking simple to just stay on your goals. I've been doing this every day or every couple of days, literally for the entirety of prep, and this is how I've lost 33 pounds. Now, it doesn't really look the most appetizing, obviously. Doesn't look like the best foods in the world, but I promise you it does taste banging because of the way that it's seasoned. And as I said, not every meal that you have is probably going to look amazing like it's made by a fucking Michelin star chef. But nah, that's how easy it is. And then there you go. So 5 of those have been put into the freezer. So I've obviously got those available for whenever I need them. And then I will take 2 of these. Sorry, 1 of these today. So I've got... Is this actually on? There it is, yeah. So I've got this one, so my beef, and then I've got my chicken just there as well. Just realised that I've got 2 beef, and I was meant to have a chicken and a beef left out. So I've got my chicken and potatoes for today, and then I'm going to put my beef and chicken in the fridge for tomorrow. Eat both of those tomorrow because I've got a very, very busy day. It's pretty much just like a content day, and then I've got a little bit of PT towards the end of the day as well. Got a leg day tomorrow, which obviously is going to have to be adjusted. I think, no, I did update you. I've got a bulging disc on my lower back. Obviously, nothing that I can really do about that, but I am going to work around it the best that I can. So leg day is going to be boring as fuck, but it just is what it is. And then, yeah, all those meals will be ready for tomorrow. I'll just probably eat something very similar. So, yeah, that's it. Anyways, I'm going to head off to the gym in about 20 minutes or so. I'm going to get my White Monster ready, and then we've got a banana and a Squares bar, and I'll see you at the gym. Right, so I am just about to head off to the gym. I've already had my banana, because obviously high carbs, also single ingredient food, and it's got potassium in, so I should have a little bit more energy technically for the gym. Got my Squares bar here as well. That's a little bit of a pre-gym ritual that I've been doing for a very long time, so I'm hoping that calorie based, or based on calories I should say, I can continue to do that going forward for the remainder of prep, but I've not done it for pretty much any session so far. I've got the crispy White Monster, just listen.
To the bottom. What do you make of that?
Oh, no.
I don't.
Just listen to this. That's the one, that's what we're after. And I've obviously been at my parents' house today. So I've got inside of here some blueberry creatine that I found in the cupboard. I'm assuming it's my mother's. Now, I did steal some of it today. I'm only really leaving this clip in because I imagine if they watch this, which they probably will, I'll get a message as soon as they've watched this bit. So I've just kind of left that one there because I don't want to annoy them. But other than that, like I said, I'm going to head off to the gym now. We've got upper body day today. I'll probably do like me actually on the camera and then talking with the workout over the top. Naturally, my back is still injured, so as I said, I'm going to have to do everything either chest supported or machine based. So I'll give you a little bit of direction on how I'm actually doing that, how I'm managing it, and yeah, I will see you in the gym. So, welcome back. I'm going to overlay some of the workout that I've just done over the top of this video because I'm just on my way to Everlast Gyms, where I've got one client in for PT tonight, so I'm going to drive over there, finish off a little bit more work, do some client messages and things, and then do a little bit of psychology course, and then obviously train my client tonight. So that's on the agenda for the next sort of 3 hours. But I've just finished up the session there. As you'll see from the overlay on the videos that I've just put on, or I'm putting over the top, they're all either machine based or chest supported. And yeah, my back's feeling okay. It feels a little bit sort of sore. I can feel that there's something not quite right, but the physio did literally say this was going to be the case. Sitting down like I am right now aggravated a little bit, so it is just feeling a little bit sore, but I'm just going to have to kind of get on with it essentially. I'm going to have my chicken and potatoes when I get to the gym, and yeah, that'll be the second last meal of the day potentially. But the one thing I wanted to quickly touch on was, so I've just done a post today on my Instagram. Now, if you're watching this, you probably do follow me on Instagram and you've probably come from there. The post that I put on today was stupid shit that people said to me before I started my business. And I haven't put it on to talk about how fucking great I think I am, because I can, you know, overcome whatever. But the point being is, like, some of the quotes I've heard when I started the business, if you haven't seen the post, is my favourite one out of all of them was, how are you ever going to make a career out of this? You're boring and you've got no personality. The rest of the quote was actually, whenever somebody asks me to describe you, I say that you're beige. You are the most boring person I've ever met, right? Now, that was said by somebody that I knew pretty well, I spent most days with, and at the time, it actually fucking bothered us, to be completely honest with you. I won't even lie, like, it did bother us. I mean, I still went, you know, left the job and went feet first into the industry, but it's, when you, I mean, the other ones I heard were, you know, just the usual shit, like, from PTs that I spoke to in a gym, that were like, you know, the money's shit, I wouldn't bother coming in the industry, it's really hard, you're going to struggle to get clients, clients don't do what you tell them to, and blah 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 blah, right? Obviously, people who were fucking terrible at the job and had a face like a smacked arse when I approached them, or the usual, like, oh well, if you try it for a few months, you can always just go back to your old job and all this sort of stuff. Now, I listened to all of that at the time when I also had a lot of self-doubt, and I was still overcoming social anxiety. Like, at the time, I was still working with my psychologist very heavily on my social anxiety, still doing a lot of CBT. And I already didn't have that much self-belief. Now, for me, having social anxiety, hating the job that I was in, having no confidence, I had a decent amount of knowledge on training and nutrition, but not loads. Like, I didn't have anywhere near as much as I thought I did at the time. And my confidence is already low enough, but the point being is I still just went and fucking did it anyway. Because I knew that as long as I went into the industry and I worked really, really, really hard, and I was willing to do all the things that most people aren't willing to do, then I was going to be totally fine. And ultimately, as long as I did things with no fear, and I had a direction of where I wanted to be, and I had a reason why I wanted to do it, then I knew I would succeed eventually. And don't get me wrong, I'm not even fucking scratching the surface of where I want to be. I'm still in, you know, like, obviously things have improved a lot over the last couple of months, but I'm still struggling at times. Like, the last 3 days has not been ideal for business, full transparency. Even after taking on a couple more clients last week. So it's, you know, it's not like loads of people are leaving or anything, but it's just, there's a lot on and there's a lot of shit happening behind the scenes with personal life and stuff like that. But again, it's all part of the fucking game. Like, it's just going to be part of the day-to-day. You're never going to not have something going on. Now, the reason that I'm talking about this is because a lot of you that are watching this are either, one, working towards goals already, and, you know, you might be doing it successfully, you might not. Most of you probably won't be getting to where you want to be, and that's probably why you're watching this, for a bit of inspiration. Or two, you want to try and achieve something, whether it is fitness, whether it's business, whether it's a physique goal, whether it's a relationship goal, a personal goal. Maybe you want to be more educated, maybe you want to make more money or get a promotion at work, whatever it might be. Maybe you want to do all of those things. And as soon as you start working on yourself, as soon as you start bringing the better, healthier meals into work, as soon as you start, you know, saying no to going on nights out all the time, as soon as you start prioritising yourself and going for walks and exercising and, you know, looking after yourself, and you might go and get a fucking new haircut and try and create a bit of a new identity for yourself, people are going to try and drag you back down into that original identity that you had. And people, when they do this, are just projecting their insecurities onto yourself, because they've either, one, not got the stones to go and do it themselves, or two, they have tried it and failed themselves. Now, all of those comments previously that I had from people before I started the business were people that were just fucking projecting their own insecurities onto me, that didn't want me to succeed. Now, am I where I want to be? No. But am I working towards that anyway? Am I a lot further along than I was at the time? Yes, 100,000,000% I am. And yes, sometimes when you're running a business, it does feel like you're a million miles behind, and sometimes it does feel like you're going one step forward, two steps back. It's completely normal to feel like that when you're working towards a goal that's difficult to achieve. It's supposed to feel like that. It's supposed to feel like that a lot of the time. So you just have to do what they do, do what you want to do despite what people say. It's as simple as that. You've just got to go and do the things that you want to do. And one of the biggest things that you can do when it comes to this is get as educated on the topic that you want to become educated on as possible. Now, I'm also on we'll call it a journey if you want to fucking call it that, it's a bit cringe, but we'll call it a journey. Now, I'm also on a journey of just trying to improve my life in general. I had a lot of problems with emotional regulation, as in like just constantly losing my fucking head and acting like the entire world was going to burn down when things went wrong in my business. I probably needed to work on my communication skills a lot better, and that's from a business and from a personal perspective. In full transparency, had some bad relationships in the past that I probably shouldn't have been in, definitely shouldn't have been in, and didn't really understand how to handle those, and went in relationships that I just shouldn't have gone into because I wasn't emotionally regulated in the way that I should have been. Hence the reason that I now work with Andy, my life coach, and that's why I'm trying to get as educated as I possibly can be. So I've just bought a book recommended by Andy called Limitless by Jim Quick, which is basically how to learn how to essentially become the most focused version of yourself, how to become the most motivated version of yourself, how to retain information, how to become more intelligent, how to learn as much as you possibly need to improve your life, how to communicate better. And that's kind of like a lower level book because I'm not really the best at reading, because I haven't spent that much time of my life ever reading. I've set myself a target of reading 5 books this year. It's definitely something that I need to do because I need to practice my concentration essentially, and not just wanting to pick my phone up. Like sitting and taking the time to read will definitely help with that. I'm also going to do it before bed so my sleep improves. But another thing that I'm doing is just listening to a podcast at the minute. So yesterday it was Modern Wisdom is my favourite one. Very interesting guest to talk about a lot of psychology. So yesterday was Chris Williamson, obviously, is the host, with Michael, I think it's Smoak you pronounce it, who is Higher Up Wellness on Instagram. Very religious guy. Now, I'm not religious, but a lot of the stuff he talks about from a wellness perspective is very, very important, and kind of resonates with the stuff that I talk about and think about quite a lot. We've also got David, I think I've just mentioned it in obviously the previous video, so David Friedberg, I think his name was, talking about all the stuff that's potentially happening in the future, because I just found that really interesting and I want to be a bit more educated. And now I'm listening to Dr. Max Butterfield. If anybody watches his stuff on Instagram, he is the relationship guru, sort of short form content. He's got quite a few PhDs and masters and bachelor's degrees and stuff like that. A lot of it to do with psychology, relationship psychology, economics, and a lot of other things as well. That's I just find generally interesting. And he kind of talks around how to have healthier relationships, how to communicate with people better, how to make sure that people that you see are the right people for you, all that sort of stuff. And it's really important, in my opinion, as somebody who wants to have a high functioning life, a happy life, a healthy life, to be educated. Holy shit, fuel is over £2 a litre. Wow, I've just drove past the fuel station. First time that I've seen that in the northeast. Good thing I filled my tank a couple of days ago. But yeah, so as I said, I think it's a very, very important thing to do, to get educated on communication, on emotional regulation, on psychology. All this sort of stuff will lead so much more into your physique transformation, your fat loss goals, your physique goals, more than you think, because the more that you can emotionally regulate yourself, the better that you can understand yourself, the better you can learn to say no to things, the better you can get up and do things even when you don't want to, the bit more you can push yourself from a training and nutrition perspective, the more you're likely to get up and get your steps in when you don't really feel like it. All the rest of it, everything that kind of comes into it, you're so much more likely to do all of these things when you are more emotionally regulated, when you're more educated on these things, because you understand the reasons behind what you're doing. And that's why it's such a big thing around what I do with my clients, is try and educate them the best that I possibly can. I don't just put stuff in their program without telling them what's in there. If my clients ask me about stuff in their program, I guarantee I can give them a reason why that is in their program, from a nutrition perspective, from a lifestyle perspective, from a training perspective. because I'm educated on the things that I do. Now I never sit there and talk about stuff that's outside my lane or outside my wheelhouse, because I don't feel comfortable giving people advice that they pay me for when I'm talking about stuff that I don't understand. And also, if you talk about stuff you don't understand, you're probably wrong and you probably just look like a fucking idiot anyway, so don't talk about shit that you don't understand. That's my biggest advice for you. But yeah, that's my little car talk over, and I will show you the next deal, and that'll probably end the video after that one. But I'm really enjoying these little car talks with you lot. Hopefully you are enjoying them too, and I will speak to you in the next clip.